We are just 6 weeks away from the budget deadline, and this time legislators are facing down a multi-billion-dollar deficit, and they will have to make some tough choices about what to cut. Danny Spiewak joins us live from the Capitol with the latest on negotiations. Danny?
Well, time seems to fly. We're getting into crunch time for the budget process here with the May 19th deadline looming. And now the House, Senate, and Governor Walz have all released their budget plans. There are obviously some key differences in all of those plans, but lawmakers are increasingly confident that they can actually get this budget done on time this year.
With a $6 billion deficit projected by the end of the decade, Governor Walz, the House, and Senate have each offered their own plans to balance the budget. Let's start with the DFL-controlled Senate, where over the next 4 years, leaders propose more than $1 billion in cuts to health and human services and $687 million in cuts to education.
When we look out further into our budget, a lot of those costs continue to rise.
Senator Grant Hochschild is the DFL's assistant majority leader.
Trying to figure out how do we make sure that our budget doesn't impact the most vulnerable all the way, but sort of make sure that we're addressing those ongoing costs that are rising.
The House plan also cuts human services by more than $1 billion over 4 years, but unlike the Senate, does not reduce education spending.
Is not a place we could ever land.
With the House tied, DFL leader Melissa Hortman released these targets jointly with Republican Speaker Lisa Damoth. In committee this week, Republican Ways and Means co-chair Paul Torkelson commended his chamber's bipartisanship.
The objective here, from my perspective anyway, was to make everyone a little bit unhappy. That's what a true compromise looks like.
As for Governor Walz, his plan looks more like the Senate's than the House. But after the House session started rocky with a 3-week DFL walkout, he says he's pleased with the progress.
This bodes really well for us getting a working budget, making sure we're funding the things Minnesotans care about, but also addressing those over-the-horizon structural issues.
Now, just so people aren't confused, the lawmakers right now are working on the next 2-year budget. We talk 4 years out because the budget forecast shows that deficit 4 years out, and lawmakers have numbers that they need to plan for. But right now, they're working on the 2-year budget. It's due May 19th, and if they don't get it done by the end of the session, Governor Walz would have to call a special session so that the government wouldn't shut down starting in July. That's just how the process works. Back to you.
Much tougher negotiation when you don't have a surplus and you're eyeing down a budget shortfall. But that would be amazing, Danny, if they, as divided as they are in the Democrat-Republican seats that are held right now in the legislature, if they pass this, having to make cuts and things like that, that would be extraordinary without a special session.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of a tricky situation because they have a little bit of money to work with for this next 2 years. That deficit, though, 4 years out is really just they have to plan for it. Even though it's not in the current budget, they do have to plan for it. So it's a lot of moving parts, but so far, so good, according to the lawmakers we've spoken with.